I was talking to our manufacturer, just saying, hey, is there anything that you think is hot, any new interesting stories? And there's like, there's these guys in Delta that have this, which is only 2.5 hours away. They have this, really cool technology that I think they can make some amazing things with. And so I'm like, well, could you set up a meeting? I'd love to, sounds interesting. I'd love to meet with them. I went down there and met with them, and they do a technology with many different things, but basically what they're able to do, a couple things they do. One, they're able to pull the micronutrients out of fruits and vegetables, and keep it in a whole food form, leave all the macros. And so we had been using that in a lot of our blends of other products that we have. Instead of having just vitamins and minerals, we just have actual micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals, but only from actual fruits and vegetables, not synthetic.
Right.
But what they were really, their real key technology was able to basically turn anything into a juice. So any type of fruit, any type of vegetable, any type of grasses, juice that, and then turn that juice into a powder with never going more than 41 degrees Celsius, and basically killing none of the nutrition.
Right.
And so they're basically saying, we can basically, like, if you started having, let's say, the best fruits and vegetables that you could possibly grow, you have access to some of the best soil on the planet because of this ancient seabed and volcano and the minerals that you can't even put them in. It's like chemists are brilliant and stuff like that, and come up with fertilizers and all of those things, but it's very hard to beat Mother Nature.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Even as smart as many people are as human beings, it's still hard to beat just nature and how foods are created and stuff like that. And so the first thing is just the soil that it's grown in. The second thing is they put all of the processing plant right on the fields, and they don't do it with just the product we're using for AO. They do it with all kinds of products. So if you're going to grow your own garden and you have the best soil in the world and all of this, so you had all the minerals and vitamins in it, the best thing is going to do is to eat those fruits and vegetables, or juice those fruits and vegetables and drink it fresh. Just right fresh from the garden is better
Absolutely.
than trying to preserve it and doing all of these things. But what they've been able to do is turn this juice into powder without creating any damage. You rehydrate it with water, and you could send it to a lab, and they basically could not tell which one is fresh and which one is rehydrated. It's that
Wow.
close. It is literally almost identical. It is crazy. And so I learned about this in 2017, and I thought, holy cow, this literally for natural nutrition is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I said, this is such a better story than some berry grown in the Amazon or on some cliff or something like that, because you can go your entire life and never hear about that, or never even have some juice for an antioxidant. But what the body actually needs, the oxygen that it's getting from things like chlorophyll and the minerals and the alkalization and those types of things are far more important than just an antioxidant. Antioxidant, there's benefits there, but you can keep a lot of that oxidation process from happening, or slow it down from all of these from alkalinity through oxygen through the minerals and the vitamins and all of these things. So anyways, I literally just thought that this is incredible if you could put it together in the right thing. We're trying to figure out to simplify nutrition and just turn it into take one thing a day. What would it be? Seeing blends that have worked, seeing stories that have worked, seeing lives changed, and talking to some of the brightest doctors in the history of the world throughout this process. We thought, man, we want these greens as the foundation. We also feel that gut health is one of the things that people are looking at the most right now. So we want something to really treat the gut. Insulin resistance. If I was going to say what's the number one problem in health in the entire world right now, it's insulin resistance. That's my opinion. So doing something to help the body become sensitive to insulin again, control blood sugar is extremely important. Detox, get rid of the toxins in the body. because if the body's toxic, acidic, and other toxins, it's going to be working against you in
Absolutely.
every way possible to protect the vital organs from the acid, to protect the blood, which has to remain alkaline, from the acid, and it'll store it in the fat and use it as a buffer. And it's going to do everything that it possibly can to hold on to that fat. It'll pull the water out of your system. It'll pull the muscle, everything before it releases fat, because it's using that fat to protect the vital organs from these toxins. And so detoxing is extremely important. And then heart disease still is the #1 killer, males and females worldwide. Technology came out in 1998 that won the Nobel Prize in Medicine. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't like this was, hidden in some library somewhere that nobody's known about. This won the Nobel Prize. So this is like, hey, this is the biggest discovery in years and years and decades and decades and decades. We're going to award it the #1 prize that we can possibly award it. But because people don't pay attention to that, if I ask, I don't even know what's won a Nobel Prize in the last 10 years. I have no
Yeah.
clue, because the news doesn't
Me
care
neither.
about that. The news wants to tell us about all this gossip of movie stars and all these other things, or the government or this, that, or the other. It doesn't want to say these amazing things that are happening and this work that these scientists are doing. But they discovered that nitric oxide not only prevents but reverses heart disease. #1 killer, males and females. There's a book written by a heart surgeon called No More Heart Disease. And basically, he took what they found in 1998, put it into practice, and went more than a decade without doing another heart surgery. And he's a heart surgeon. That's how he makes a living. And so we took this greens blend. We put microbiome, adaptogens, detox, some things to help with insulin resistance, to help people become sensitive to insulin, control the blood sugar, and then this nitric oxide blend to help the cardiovascular system, and actually include test strips with every order, so that people can test if it's where their nitric oxide is right now, and if the product's helping with that. We can't, everybody's chemistry is so different.
Sure.
If somebody's low, we can't guarantee that it's going to raise everybody's nitric oxide 100% of the time, but we do have some test strips that you can test. And from what we've seen, it's most of the time. I would never say 100%, but
Sure.
it's most of the time. So it's really just what I'd say is super well-rounded product. To 100% of diseases can be traced back to mineral deficiencies. Disease, if you look at your body as this environment that your cells live in, the disease can only survive in an acidic environment.
Yep.
So if that environment's alkaline, it can't survive. And so we wanted something that literally every single sip is just flooding the body with minerals, oxygen through the chlorophyll. Oxygen is the same thing, cancer, things like that can't survive in oxygenated tissues. The body has to have low oxygen. For almost all disease, the body has to have low oxygen. And so really that's kind of the base. And then we throw in these adaptogens just so that people can have a better chance of dealing with the stress that they're under, physical, mental, environmental, all of those types of things. That we're all under different stresses. So you need some things that can adapt. You can't really just create a formula that is like set in this stone, because if this person's environment is completely different than everybody else's, you really need some things that can help adapt to different stressors. And so adaptogens are pretty amazing if people really get in and study them. So I think all good blends should have some adaptogens, just because it needs to be able to adapt to different things that are happening.
Sure.
And then the nitric oxide. And so, and then put it all into one stick pack, and put it at a price at $49.95 that we think everybody can afford.